Good morning. My name is Tatiana Domilovskaya. I am the president of the Canada-Eurasia Business Alliance. And today we welcome everyone who are here with us in this room and online to participate at our conference, Global Dynamic in Resource Sector, Canada-Eurasia Cooperation in Mining. This marks the 14th occasion that this conference has been held in conjunction with AME Roundup. Being actively focused on the resource sector, we are pleased to note that mining sector has experienced a robust recovery in the recent years, and it's currently demonstrating an exceptional dynamism. In light of today's complex geopolitical landscape and substantial changes in international supply chain, it is increasingly essential for Canada to strengthen its relationships with the global mining community. As one of the very few organizations who actually dealing with the Greater Eurasia region, we are proud to highlight 4 key Eurasian markets at this event in 2026. And we will be showing Kazakhstan, Mongolia, Uzbekistan, and Armenia. In view of the conference, we view this conference as a catalyst for enhancing cross-border trade, technological collaboration, and investment opportunities. Just a little bit about this event agenda. We will have welcome remarks, 2 panels, and 1 intermission, and there will be also the networking at the end of the event. Please note that this event is held in hybrid format, so we are also seen online. So I asked everyone to be quiet because any sound is actually getting some interruption. That's number 1. And number 2, I would like to let you know that the event is being recorded. And this is another reason why I asked everyone who is in the room and online, please keep quiet to make sure that there are no any unwanted sound interruption. Now I would like to recognize those who helped us make this event possible and introduce our distinguished sponsors. Our platinum sponsor and supporter of this event is Natural Resources Canada, Geological Survey of Canada, Government of Canada. Thank you very much. Our event host and gold sponsor is Miller Thomson. Thank you. The silver sponsor of our event is Gyeosan, Mongolia. Would like to see this. Our bronze sponsors are B2Gold, from Consultants Uzbekistan, National Emergency Safety Services, and 1 sponsor who is not here at the moment is Fita Romania. Unfortunately, our Romanian sponsor was unable to travel here, but they asked us to put their letter of business proposal in the brochure. So you will find this business proposal at the very end of the book. Our media sponsors is Association of Mineral Explorations. Jonathan, thank you so much. This organization is our partner for many, many years, as long as I am in Canada. And TrickTech Mongolia, we have their representative who will be speaking at the 2nd panel. I also would like to welcome our distinguished guests from Armenia. Unfortunately, we have the General Director of the Armenal company, the major Armenian producer of aluminum, lost in Vancouver right now. So someone is trying to collect him because Uber apparently took him to the other location. So we are working on it. And I will introduce Mr. Tigran Rustaman as soon as he will be here. So now we would like to start our actual performance. And I would like to introduce Dan Kiselbach, who will say a few words about Miller Thomson. Welcome everyone. Let's start the panel.
Okay. Thanks very much, Tatiana, and welcome everyone to this event, CEBA Conference on the margins of the AME BC Roundup. We're delighted to have you here. We want to welcome the distinguished guests and other guests that are here today. We've got industry leaders, technical experts, policymakers, and investors together to discuss how the resource sector is shaping up for 2026. And, Canada and Asia share a vast resource potential, and both are navigating a fundamental question on how to develop resources in a world that demands security, sustainability, and resilience, I should say, resistance too. Today's discussion will be practical and forward-looking, and we hope that this session sparks collaboration and surfaces new ideas and helps to build lasting connections. So without further ado, I'd like to move on to our next speaker, the first speaker, I should say, which will be you, Tatiana. All right.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Yeah, so the next speaker for the welcome remarks, I would like to invite Erin Campbell. Erin is the chair of the board of directors of our organization. And again, I know Erin as long as I'm in Canada. So she's a great supporter of Business with Eurasia. And I just happy to pass the stage to her.
Thank you, Tatiana. I was a little startled when you said it had been 15 years that we have been doing this event on the margins of AMBC Roundup. And it really is a tribute to you, Tatiana, and I think the energy that you bring to building not just trade relationships and business relationships between Canada and the Eurasian regions, but also deep, abiding friendships. And I think many of us in this room have been really fortunate to have friendships with you, Tatiana, but also to build friendships with other people. And I think this is one of the, real hallmarks of the Canada-Eurasia Business Association is that we work very, very hard to find those points of connection and support groups as they navigate those. I've been in the mining sector for quite some time, more than 20 years. And this feels so much like what we experienced in Canada in 2003, 2004. Some of you were not alive then, but that's okay. This is the joy of getting older. I'm not looking at you in particular. You can start to see the cycles. And what we're seeing is this newfound appreciation and energy for those of us who work in the mining sector, those of us who finance the mining sector, and those of us who support the very important inputs and services that surround the mining sector. And I think for that all of us are aligned in hoping that this next few years continues to unfold with opportunity for our members in the mining sector and for all of our relationships throughout Canada and Eurasia and other parts of the world. Again, I thank everyone for joining us here today. I hope, when we're doing number 16 next year, you will all join us then as well. And a special thank you as well to our sponsors who have been with us in many ways through more challenging times and hopefully now more abundant times. Thank you so much.
So our next speaker for the welcome remarks is Jonathan Buchanan. And this is again, it's so nice to have so many friends around the table. So it's incredible feeling, that we all are gathering every year in the end of January. And so yours.
Thank you very much, Tatiana. It's our pleasure at the Association for Mineral Exploration to have this conference as a partner event in conjunction with AME Roundup for the past 15 years. And we are thrilled that, of course, with gold prices at more than 5,000 US crowns, 7,000 Canadian at one point today, and silver prices at 108 US, there is certainly a great excitement about commodity prices and the value of the mineral exploration and mining industry. And one thing that we like to point out, as we have 7,000 people at AME Roundup, which of course I encourage you all to attend, is that we need to harness all this energy because interest in critical minerals and exploration in mining, if we don't harness this energy now, it will be a fleeting interest. Yesterday, AME launched its Minerals for Tomorrow campaign. So that's what exploration is. It is securing those minerals for tomorrow, whether it's in Canada or around the world, and making sure that not only we have this great community, but we're sharing the knowledge of our community with the public, with governments, and making sure that everyone is as enthusiastic as we are. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jonathan. And once more, thank you so much for such tremendous support you're giving to our organization. Our next speaker will be joining us online. It's Yedigaryan. He is second secretary at the Embassy of Republic of Armenia to Canada, covering sector of political, economic, educational, and cultural cooperation between Armenia and Canada. Mr. Yedigaryan started his diplomatic career at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Armenia in 2014 after graduating from the Diplomatic School of Armenia. So, Gor, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Just for the start, I want to be sure that everyone hears me.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
Yes.
Thank you. Dear colleagues, on behalf of Her Excellency Ms. Anay Tarutunyan, Ambassador of Armenia to Canada, I'm pleased to greet you all. I'm glad also to be joined by Ms. Lili Taryan, Head of Investment Promotion and Foreign Relations Department of Enterprise Armenia, which is the National Investment Promotion Agency, and also Mr. Harutsun Movsisyan, Director of the Republican Geological Fund, which is a state non-commercial organization working under the relevant Ministry of Territorial Administration and Infrastructure of Armenia. The Armenian mining industry has a considerable potential to grow. It has a lot to offer in this new age, as rightfully mentioned by my colleagues, of search for alternative critical mineral supply chains. Armenia possesses diverse reserves of mineral raw materials. Within the territory of the Republic, approximately 1,000 deposits have been registered, of which 45 are metallic, and along with them more than 100 mineral occurrences. The most widespread deposits include copper, molybdenum, gold, lead, zinc, and silver, which constitute the primary flow of the country's extraction and export. Armenian company Zangezur Copper Molybdenum Combine is operating the largest mining project in the region with proven molybdenum and copper reserves. It is one of the top 10 largest producers in the world of molybdenum, and it's one of the largest copper producers in the region. And now it's on a path to double its capacity, its operating capacity, which is a very good news for us. In 2023, the government of Armenia adopted the mining sector development strategy. It's the first comprehensive strategic document for the sector. And currently, I also would like to emphasize our country, the relevant Ministry of Territorial Administration and Infrastructure, is working with our colleagues from the USA and EU to establish or re-establish the Geological Service of Armenia, which will enable to find or explore to discover new mineral reserves, additional deposits in Armenia. The Armenian side attaches great importance to principles enshrined in the said strategy, which are, for example, sustainable development of the entire society, responsible mining, business conduct, and innovation, as well as collaboration with its partners on best practices, know-how, and expertise. Having said that, the Armenian side is genuinely interested in expanding its cooperation with Canada in the above-mentioned sector. The last substantive testament to that was the one-week working visit by an Armenian delegation led by Mr. Asatur Vartanyan, Deputy Minister of the said relevant ministry, and in October 2025. And the delegation involved also the said combined representatives, high-level representatives. The meetings included, among others, with Ms. Sarah Wilshaw, the Chief Trade Commissioner of Canada, as well as colleagues from the Natural Resources Canada, including Ms. Genevieve Marquis, the keynote speaker at our conference, though I haven't seen her online, though I understand she might be there. The image is too far, I don't see everyone there. The Deputy Minister also visited Kenmet mining facility and Canadian Malartic mine in Quebec, and also met different partners in several provinces, not only in one, but several provinces. Before that, the Armenian side was glad to host Canadian mining sector representatives within 2024 April successful business mission led by Canada-Eurasia Chamber of Commerce, our colleagues hosting this conference. The embassy would be delighted to assist in sending another delegation to Armenia this year with our partners. Should be noted here that Canadian Armenian mining metallurgy experts are the driving force for us. They established a global professional society 5 years ago in Canada, in Armenian International Mining and Metallurgy Society. Based on the strong recommendation of the Embassy of Armenia to Canada, Armenian representatives are considering participating in the PDAC in March in Toronto this year. At the same time, it's noteworthy that we are also organizing annual international conferences called Mining Armenia Forum. And it's like, let's say, the Armenian PDAC. Last year, it hosted more than 250 participants from around the world, including Canada, Kazakhstan, USA, Netherlands, UAE, and other countries. During this forum, the host, Armenian Mining and Metallurgy Association, revealed that the Canadian company has expressed strong interest in copper and molybdenum extraction projects in Armenia and is prepared to invest up to $5 billion, which is another good news, to be honest. We invite you all to Armenia for the mining forum this year to be happening in autumn, I think in October. And I hope the mining sector continues to be the solid foundation for our deepening of our relationship, for bilateral ties. And we are ready to facilitate in advancing discussions between Armenian and Canadian officials, business representatives, partners, specialists in the mining sphere. I do thank you all for your kind attention, the organizers for the kind invitation, and wish you all the success for this conference. Thank you. Thank you.
And now I would like to invite for the key remarks Dr. Genevieve Marquis, Executive Director of Geological Survey of Canada. She is serves as executive at Geological Survey of Canada, where she leads a team of over 100 of scientists at Natural Resources Canada, leading the targeted geoscience initiative research program. She successfully implemented a signature program focused on critical minerals and geoscience the last year. I greatly appreciate your support of our event, and please, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Erin. Great. Thank you, everyone. I've got minutes. Okay. Well, I'm not sure if we have the presentation ready on the screen. If not, that's fine as well. One way or another, it's going to work out well. So again, my name is Genevieve Marquis, and I'm the Executive Director at the Geological Survey of Canada at NRC. I'm really pleased to be with you, and I want to express my gratitude to all the organizers for this event. Last year, I had been made aware at the last minute of this event, and I was in that room on the bench here. And this year, I'm at the table with you talking about the progress on the engagement with our federal government and some key nations in the Indo-Pacific and Eurasia area. So we're very, very pleased to report progress. The Geological Survey of Canada is the oldest science-based organization in Canada. In fact, it was founded in 1842, almost 200 years ago, and we're still very well conducting our business. We're still open for business. It was really the organization that was the driver of the foundation of our nation. So Canada is the lead mining nation. This is really our profound identity. And so we're really pleased to have this session today on the margin of the roundup. I don't know if I can change the slide, but yes, we have a clicker. Thank you. So today, the purpose of my presentation is not a technical presentation, even though we're talking here about towards the National Program for Airborne Geophysical Surveying in Mongolia. The purpose of my presentation is really to share with you our experience, how we made it happen with Mongolia, for instance. So I'll describe today the key elements that were really the fact that all the stars were aligned for successful engagement with Mongolia. So we do have, I'm sure you do have a lot of engagement session at the AME Roundup. In my case, when I go to PDAC, I engage with many, many nations. We all have a very packed agenda. And what happened in 2024, I was invited at PDAC to meet informally with the Mongolia Geological Survey. So we met, and probably at PDAC, I meet with, I don't know, maybe 20 different nations. But this one was very special. We really had a feeling that we could do something really immediately and together. And Mongolia, the delegates from Mongolia were really serious. They came immediately to meet with us in Ottawa, and we started a discussion on what we could do together. And we came to an agreement that we had a joint aspiration to strengthen our capacity in airborne geophysics. So we developed a concept project together. But in order to do so, we needed some funds, right? Because it's nice to talk about a project, but talk is cheap. We needed to find resources to make it happen. So fortunately, the federal government in Canada put in place a program that is called the Technical Assistance Partnership, the TAP. And it's funded by the contribution of Global Affairs. So I want to acknowledge their contribution. So we developed our memorandum of understanding, and then we developed a technical assistance partnership. And by the way, the other nations around the table today are also eligible recipients for that type of funding as well. So this is also important information for all the participants at this table today. So we developed a technical assistance partnership. And in 2024, I went in Mongolia and we signed this portion of the agreement, all the data sharing agreement. And then we developed later on a strong programs for airborne geophysics. And we, some of our staff were deployed in Mongolia more than once, in fact, twice. And likewise, Mongolian participants also came to Canada, and the goal of that is really the capacity building. So that's the very first point here. The key concept is the human resource factor capacity building, the development of community consultation process. We also put a lot of effort on national airborne geophysics because that was meaningful for Mongolia, but other nations like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Armenia could also have other key strategic goals to develop under a potential technical assistance program. And finally, we came to the conclusion that it was very positive. It was a win-win for Canada and for Mongolia. So it was not a one-way. It was really beneficial for both nations. At the end of the project is not coming to an end, but it's coming to a conclusion for a certain chapter. So right now we have some staff, highly qualified staff in Mongolia who are now trained. We are developing other proposals. We're also bringing the possibility to open new market for Canadian investors or Canadian potential contractors in Mongolia. So there's a lot of very high impact in terms of economic development. So that's the example of a schedule to this collaboration. So as I mentioned, we started at in the fall when I attended a session in Mongolia, but it's still ongoing right now, and we're hoping to move forward towards a renewal for this project. Overall, it's approximately $200,000 that was invested by the federal government in this project, but the return on investment is much, much, much higher than that. So the return on investment is also in Mongolia and it's also in Canada. So we can really bring the possibility of new investment in Mongolia and also potential contracts for Canadian. Finally, as I mentioned, we had some sessions. Our delegates also met with the Minister Domilovskaya, Minister of Industry and Mineral Resources. So we have a lot of collaboration with Mongolia. And even though the technical assistance program will end at one point, we know that we will have a very long, lasting, and durable engagement. So we're hoping to develop other technical assistance program like this one, assistance partnership like this one in the future. And we want to thank you so very much because we learned so much from Mongolia, and it's a great honor to be at the table with you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So we really, as an organization, we really enjoy working with Mongolia. We work with it since approximately 2018, and we usually do one business mission to Mongolian mining events per year. We are very good in developing relationships in education. We have few educational institutions actually who are working with us on that, and we also have some people who are working with us on the mining sector in Mongolia. So thank you so much, and I'm very happy how rapidly it's all developing. So right now I would like to pass the word to the moderator of the first panel, Daniel Kiselbach. So Daniel, the stage is yours.
So, really, what I'm going to do is introduce a few speakers for the upcoming panel, and the panel that we're going to begin with is on Kazakhstan. The first speaker is Nursultan Nurmashev. He's of the Embassy of the Republic of Kazakhstan to Canada and has been working in the system of Ministry of Foreign Affairs for Kazakhstan for 8 years. And he has a tremendous experience in the financial sector and was responsible for the financial component of the work of foreign institutions in the Republic of Kazakhstan in the diplomatic service for the last couple of years. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Nursultan to give us an outline on what's happening with Kazakhstan. Take it away.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Dear ladies and gentlemen, distinguished colleagues, first of all, I would like to convey best wishes and regards of my ambassador, His Excellency Davletbek Huseinov, to the organizers and all participants. It's a pleasure to speak today on behalf of the Embassy of Republic of Kazakhstan to Canada about the recent developments in Kazakhstan's mining industry and emerging opportunities for potential Canadian and international investors. As you may know, Kazakhstan ranks among the top 10 countries in terms of mineral reserves and is actively developing its critical mineral strategy to meet growing global demand and contribute to green transition supply chains. President of Kazakhstan, His Excellency Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, has outlined Kazakhstan's dedication to strengthening its mining sector with a particular focus on energy transition materials, including lithium, copper, and uranium. With global demand on the rise, Kazakhstan is seizing this opportunity by offering exciting opportunities to foreign investment and advanced technologies. Today, Canadian companies are already well represented in Kazakhstan, notably companies such as Aras Minerals. I can see the CEO of Aras, Darren Klink, in the hall, and B2Gold, Cameco, First Quantum Minerals, Hatch, Ivanhoe Mines, and Contour Energies are already advancing promising projects in Kazakhstan. The government of Kazakhstan pays particular attention to the institutionalizing the Geological Survey. The National Geological Survey of Kazakhstan maintains systematic state accounting across more than 100 types of mineral resources and manages information on over 10,000 geological objects, including solid minerals, hydrocarbons, common minerals, and groundwater. This resource base gives Kazakhstan long-term strategic relevance not only as a supplier of raw materials, but increasingly as a platform for downstream processing, value-added metallurgy, and integration into global critical mineral supply chains. Over the past several years, Kazakhstan has launched a comprehensive digital transformation of the subsoil use sector. The centerpiece of this effort is the Unified Subsoil Use Platform, which provides a fully electronic licensing and contract management cycle, including electronic auctions, contract conclusion, rights registration, monitoring, and reporting. Since January 2025, 22 government services have been delivered entirely in digital form through this platform, significantly reducing administrative burden, processing time, and regulatory opacity. Digitalization has also extended into geological science and innovation management. A national single window platform for the innovation system now integrates research institutions, business, public authorities for the management of R&D and the evaluation of projects proposed by subsoil users. In 2026, Kazakhstan plans to launch a unified digital geological map, which will integrate fragmented geological datasets into a single national system, improve forecasting accuracy, and enhance transparency and accessibility of geological information for both investors and public institutions. In parallel, AI tools are being gradually introduced for processing geological materials. By 2028, Kazakhstan plans to complete the full digitalization of its geological data archives. This will enable automated analysis of historical reports and maps, improve interpretation accuracy, and accelerate decision-making across the mining value chain. Legislative reforms have accompanied this technological transformation. Recent amendments to the Code on Subsoil and Subsoil Use have consolidated the role of National Geological Service as the national operator in geology, assigning it the responsibility for state geological exploration, subsoil monitoring, cadastre maintenance, infrastructure development, and the collection, storage, and provision of geological information. These changes are intended to strengthen institutional coherence, regulatory predictability, and the quality of public geological data. At the same time, Kazakhstan has refined its policy approach in the uranium sector, which is of particular strategic importance. In December 2025, the head of state signed amendments to the Subsoil Code establishing revised conditions for the granting and exercise of subsoil use rights in uranium mining. These changes build upon the government of Kazakhstan previous policy approach toward the uranium sector and are directly linked to Kazakhstan's plans to secure a long-term resource base for the construction and operation of free, full-scale nuclear power plants in the country. It's important to underline that these amendments are not retroactive in nature and do not constitute nationalization or expropriation as some parties may think. They do not entail any revision of equity participation interest in joint ventures operating under contracts concluded prior to the entry into force of the amendments. The rights of investors and the terms of existing contracts remain fully valid, unchanged, and legally protected. Latest legislative reforms reflect Kazakhstan's strategic shift from a purely extractive model toward the development of higher added value segments of the nuclear and mining industries. These include downstream processing, fuel cycle components, and technological cooperation with the aim of transforming mining investment into long-term industrial and technological partnerships. The current policy trajectory in Kazakhstan opens several concrete opportunity areas for Canadian engagement, such as geological exploration and digital geology, critical minerals and downstream processing, uranium and nuclear fuel cycle cooperation. Kazakhstan is the world's largest uranium producer and is now developing domestic nuclear generation. This opens scope for cooperation in fuel cycle services, safety system and training, ESG, and sustainable mining technologies. Looking forward, bilateral Kazakhstan-Canada engagement in mining and critical minerals is expected to deepen further. Kazakhstan is actively diversifying its foreign economic partnerships and seeks to attract long-term, technologically sophisticated investors. In practical terms, this creates a strong basis for expanding joint ventures, co-finance exploration programs, technology transfer arrangements, and long-term offtake linked investment structures. Taking this opportunity, I would also like to invite all interested companies and parties to explore new business opportunities in Kazakhstan, and would like to welcome all of you to be distinguished guests and participants of our events in Toronto in the beginning of March on the margins of PDAC 2026, and in Astana on the margins of 7th Kazakhstan-Canada Business Council meeting, which will take place on June 10th, 2026. And in conclusion, I would like to reiterate our commitment for any kind of mutually beneficial partnerships with Canada. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thanks very much. Appreciate those comments. It was interesting to see the outline on the trajectory for Kazakhstan and the development opportunities, and thanks for the invitation to explore, Nur Sultan. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about investment, and our next speaker is Murat Biramzan, who represents Kazakh Invest, Kazakhstan's national investment promotion company. This serves as a one-stop facilitator for foreign investors and supports priority investment projects across the country. He's responsible for advancing Kazakhstan's investment promotion agenda and facilitating strategic partnerships between international investors and the government of Kazakhstan, with particular focus on mining, critical minerals, energy, and industrial projects. So over to you.
Thank you very much, colleagues. Dear Tatiana, thank you very much for organizing such a great event in the mining heart of Canada in Vancouver. I'm representing national company Kazakh Invest in the region, but unfortunately, I was not able to join you in person. So hopefully I'll deliver my speech and my presentation online, and hopefully it will be as insightful and as useful to all of you. I also want to say, same as Mr. Nursultan, great thanks and appreciations to some of the pioneers of Canadian companies in the mining sector of Kazakhstan. So Aras Minerals, of course, our dear friends from B2Gold, Tech Resources, and many other companies. And of course, just wanted to say that I'm very pleased to see our brothers and sisters from Central Asian and Eurasian countries, from Uzbekistan, from Mongolia, from Armenia, I believe from Romania as well. So thank you very much for this opportunity. So let me just share screen, and I wanted to show you a few slides that will give you the kind of the on-the-ground situation with regards to mining opportunities that we have. Yeah, one sec. So I hope you're able to see the presentation. Yeah. Yeah. So just first, very quick review of the mining sector. Of course, as have been mentioned previously, we are one of the world's most resource-rich countries. But the point is that we remain significantly underexplored by global standards. And therefore, I wanted to give you also a bit of a concise and investor-focused overview of the real mining opportunities and where they are in Kazakhstan, particularly in copper, in gold, in critical minerals, in rare earth metals. And we'll be happy, of course, to discuss this at the Q&A session or with an email exchange later on. And I also wanted to speak to you why Kazakhstan is increasingly aligned with Canadian mining standards and practices. So just a few words here is that we are number 6 globally in natural resource reserves, top 10 in total mineral extraction, number 3 worldwide in mining output per capita, and the mining sector contributes 8% of the GDP. And the total industrial output. So, and very importantly, this sector is not new. Kazakhstan has a long industrial mining history, but much of the country remains underexplored. So a critical point for Canadian investors, of course, is that our subsoil legislation is fully aligned with CRISCO standards. Our country is also compliant with the EITI, and the geological data is openly accessible. Administrative barriers have been reduced and stability guarantees are provided. And junior mining companies are explicitly supported under the law. And I hope that our dear friends from junior mining companies of Canada can speak to that, of course, during their presentations as well. So we rank very high in chromium, uranium, barite, rhenium, zinc globally. You can see on the right-hand side the number with regards to our place globally in reserves and production. And I wanted to show you also the geographical spread of key commodities of our country. So copper, gold, bauxite, lead, zinc, rare metals. You see, the takeaway here is diversification, and investors are not tied to one geological province. Kazakhstan offers multiple mining districts with different geological profiles, which is attractive for portfolio diversification. And I wanted to say that we have almost 2,000 mining companies, the vast majority being small and junior players. And this creates strong entry opportunities for foreign investors through partnerships, acquisitions, or farm-ins. And large players exist, of course, too, but the ecosystem is still fragmented, and which I believe it's ideal for consolidation strategies familiar to Canadian mining investors. So if you look at the mineral resource base of Kazakhstan, here we provide you the opportunity to think big and at scale. So can you imagine 20 billion tons of iron ore, 40 million tons of copper, more than 2.2 thousand tons of gold, and globally significant reserves of chromium, manganese, uranium, and coal. And Kazakhstan holds roughly 30%, one-third of global chromium reserves, and 25%, one-fourth of manganese reserves. So strategic minerals, of course, materials by any definition. But roughly 78% of Kazakhstan's territory is open for subsoil use, and only about 14% is currently under active licenses. And there was a McKinsey report saying that if we significantly invest into mining in the next few years, there is a potential to create a dozen of billion-dollar plus new mining companies in Kazakhstan. So this is extremely important. The opportunity is there, and of course, Kazakhstan is not a mature, fully licensed jurisdiction, and there is a genuine white space exploration potential, which Canadian companies love, of course, including large greenfield areas available under transparent licensing procedures. So let me just deep dive quickly into copper. Copper, of course, is a priority commodity globally now, and we are number 11 globally in terms of the copper reserves. So you see the table here, and basically over 80% of known reserves are located in central and eastern regions of Kazakhstan. And our advantage is that we already have strong infrastructure access in Kazakhstan. And importantly, so there are approximately 20 million tons of copper reserves in undeveloped areas, ideal for long-term investment. Here, if we look at the technological value chain of non-ferrous metals, so we already produce copper concentrate and cathode, exporting $6 billion annually. However, the value-added segments remain underdeveloped. And this is a clear potential to invest in smelting and refining, in downstream copper products, and this is a priority for government as well. And for investors, this opens opportunities beyond pure mining into integrated projects. So, of course, we export copper concentrate and cathode globally, and the pricing is linked to the London Metal Exchange LME benchmarks, and this ensures transparency and global market integration. So for foreign investors, of course, the revenue predictability is high, and there are no artificial pricing mechanisms. So now, a few words about gold. We are number 19 globally in gold reserves, and we produce around 73 tons annually. And more than 370 gold deposits are known, many of them relatively small and suitable for junior and mid-tier operators. Again, a structure very familiar to Canadian companies. And gold resources are spread across multiple regions of Kazakhstan, reducing the geological and political concentration risk. And this also allows investors to scale operations through district-level consolidation rather than single asset exposure. So if you look at the map here, so over $21 billion have been invested in global mining over the last in gold mining alone in the last 5 years. And Canada represents 8% of that. So you see here on the right-hand side, and we are very happy and grateful for Canadian companies that are helping develop our not only gold mining, but mining industry in general. And of course, this demonstrates that Canadian companies are not newcomers. They are proven, credible partners in Kazakhstan. So now, if you look at the refined gold market, so we have the refineries in Kazakhstan that can buy your products, again, on the London Metal Exchange linked benchmarks. And the National Bank of the Republic of Kazakhstan has a priority right to purchase refined gold produced at 3 refinery factories of Kazakhstan. But the pricing mechanism, it's a global pricing mechanism linked to the London Metal Exchange. So now, in terms of the potential, Future growth requires investments, of course, in geological exploration and advanced processing technologies. Kazakhstan needs partners with expertise in refractory gold, in arsenic removal, in patented extraction technologies, areas where Canadian companies, mining companies, are global leaders. And we would be very, very happy together with our dear colleagues at the embassy and under the leadership of His Excellency Ambassador Kusainov to basically walk with you the whole journey of identifying the relevant investment opportunities in Kazakhstan and help you, give you clarity on what those opportunities are and help you and show you the ways to implement them. So, of course, now just a few words on the rare and rare earth metals industry potential in Kazakhstan. So, of course, this is another priority. And as Mr. Nursultan from our embassy has mentioned, we have a comprehensive government strategy through 2028 targeting new deposits, and but also processing plans and technology transfer. And our President Tokayev has publicly referred to rare earths as the new oil. So, and we have identified more than 124 deposits, specifically in RM and REM occurrences, I would say, including opportunities linked to industrial waste and tailings. I know some Canadian companies are already looking into that as well, and we are supporting them together with the embassy. And of course, there are many opportunities, especially where ESG-focused investors can generate strong returns while addressing environmental legacies. Because with the tailings, for example, it's not only about ESG, it's not only about removing the arsenic, but it also makes very, very strong business and economic and commercial sense to develop such projects in Kazakhstan. We've seen some project economics on some projects, and it's just amazing, especially with the metals pricings that everyone know are very, very bullish. So now, with regards to, I wanted to say that actually we have, again, the difference is that we have existing players that already producers and manufacturers of even titanium, beryllium, tantalum, niobium, rhenium, and scandium. And this is not kind of a greenfield dream. It is an operating industrial base that can be scaled with foreign capital and technology. And of course, in terms of the potential, you see some of the numbers here with regards to production capacities, refining capacities of one of our bigger local players. But of course, we would be happy to arrange meetings with them, with big and small players, state and private players of the mining landscape in Kazakhstan, for you to hopefully find and explore potential opportunities for cooperation. So to conclude, I just wanted to say that Kazakhstan urgently needs investments in exploration, in value-adding processing and advanced technologies. But here, I wanted to say that, again, one of our country-level competitive advantage is not only the huge resource wealth and the resource base, but also a very, very competitive cost. So if you look at, for example, investment in geological exploration per square kilometers, it's only $11. For comparison, in Australia, the rate is $167, and in Canada, it is also high. It's around $203. And of course, at the same time, so there remains huge untapped potential for the discovery and development of new, unique deposits. And the regulatory framework is aligned with international best practices, and the government actively supports foreign investors. So again, to conclude, for Canadian mining companies, Kazakhstan offers scale, geological potential, and a familiar regulatory environment with far less competition for assets than in many traditional jurisdictions. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks very much, Murat, Erin, Zan. It was very helpful to go through those slides, and I appreciate your description of the white space exploration potential of Kazakhstan, and showing how Kazakhstan is aligned with what is happening in Canada and the opportunities for Canadian investors to create billion-dollar plus mines. So we are on to the next speaker, Darren Klink. Darren is a president and director of Aris Minerals Corp, and he is a president, a Canadian-based company focused on exploration and development of copper gold projects in Kazakhstan. He's held a variety of senior executive roles in metals and mining in countries across Oceania, Asia, and the Americas, and brings a perspective of a business operator to the presentation. So over to you.
Thanks, Sam. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining. Special thanks to Nursultan and Murat. They did a great job. I don't know if there's much more that I can add, to be honest, in terms of the opportunities here in Kazakhstan. I'd also like to make special note as well. It's great to see some familiar faces here in the room from the Kazakh community here in BC. I also wear an additional hat as the honorary consul of Kazakhstan here in British Columbia. So I'm part of Team Kazakhstan, I guess you could say, as well. So Aris Minerals, as Dan was mentioning, we are a company based here in Vancouver, but really most of the booths in the company are based in Kazakhstan, and we're focused on large-scale copper gold opportunities in the eastern part of the country. And there's some snapshots of the diversity of Kazakhstan for any of you that have not been there. It is a phenomenal place, not only to visit, but also to operate. And we've been there now for just over 4 years. And I can say through all my experience in other parts of the world, having had the opportunity to work and travel, and in some cases live now in almost 100 countries, I keep coming back to Kazakhstan. What a great place it is to operate in. So we very much appreciate the support from the embassy in Ottawa and the government in Kazakhstan. I think a lot of what Murat and Nursultan had to say is very much apparent and is continuing to evolve today. So as I mentioned, we're listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange Venture. We're 100% focused on critical minerals exploration in Kazakhstan. We've been doing this now for about 4 years, really the first North American exploration company to get into Kazakhstan, really in the back end of COVID. And work quite closely to identify opportunities in the Pavlodar region, which is in 3 hours east of Astana. And to date, probably have invested more than $20 million in exploration. One of the points that Murat was making as well, what really attracted us to the country was, in fact, the lack of modern exploration. Most of the exploration work and the technical data that we've gone through and used to target and get licenses was done by the Soviets pre-1990. And they did very good work, but over very large areas, in many cases, not a lot of work. And so, using that to kind of give ourselves a start and really in the last sort of 12 to 18 months, we've started gaining a lot of momentum. And it had very good support as well from companies like Teck, Canada's largest diversified mining company, so we have a partnership with them. They're also a 10% shareholder, and we're continuing to see more and more investor interest that's coming into Kazakhstan and also into Aris in general. I think the other thing that I really wanted to kind of focus on today as well is, one of the differentiators we see in Kazakhstan is not only the fact that it's well endowed, which we saw in some of the statistics earlier, but the minerals are getting mined. We can talk as long as we want about mineral endowment, but unless they're extracted from the ground and turned into things like the copper wire that are powering the lights above us today, it's really just talk. It's not walk, right? And this is one of the things that I think Kazakhstan has done a great job. I can't think of anywhere in the world I've been to where I've gone to the National Museum and there's an entire floor that talks about the importance of mining in the country. You see that in Astana. And so it really gave us a lot of confidence as we were one of the early movers in, and also in particular in this region, the infrastructure. I was blown away by it. I've spent a lot of time, as many other geologists in the room would have attest to, in helicopters and going through jungles and overtopping mountains and all sorts of crazy places to try and find deposits. And for us, you know, I usually land at 7 o'clock in the morning at the airport in Astana, and 3 hours on a 4-lane paved highway, I arrive at a town called Ekibastuz. That town's about 100,000 people, and it's really there on the back of mining. And all that you can see, if you can see the slide, all the spider web of lines is high voltage power, railways, roads. It's a dream. This is exactly the sort of stuff that you want when you're looking to develop deposits, and really it's part and parcel because there are coal mines, there are gold mines, there are copper mines, all within a 50 to 60 kilometer radius of this area. And it was part of the reason as well that we were focused here. So big opportunities, I think, not only here, but in other parts of Kazakhstan, and the infrastructure and ease to get around. I often describe it as a country kid from Alberta, that it's like Saskatchewan, but flatter. You can count power lines for 40 or 50 kilometers if you've got good eyes. And that's good in our business because there's not much impediments to getting where you need to go. This slide here also, I think, talks about the region. And when you tie that into the under-exploration that hasn't been done in Kazakhstan in modern times over the last 30 years, you look at the mineral belts that collide in Central Asia. And these are some of where the biggest deposits in the world. Oyu Tolgoi, which of course is in Mongolia, one of the world's great copper gold mines. They're developed initially by Ivanhoe Mines and now Tinto. 30 million ounces of gold, 26 million tons of copper. A lot of the mid-tier to major copper companies in the world will look for deposits that have at least 2 million tons of copper in situ. This has 13 times that. But as you go further down to the south and the west, some of the biggest gold and copper deposits in the world exist. Uzbekistan, and our friends from Uzbekistan, 140 million ounces of gold in MONETA, 160 million ounces in Almaz. So these geologic belts demonstrate big prospectivity in Kazakhstan, as Murat mentioned. Copper, when you combine Aktagai and Bolshapol in particular, about 350 to 400,000 tons of copper per annum. What does that equal? Well, that's about probably if you combine those two mines, it's about the 11th largest mine in the world today producing copper. So lots of opportunity here, and ultimately, I mean, there's a lot of metal that's being produced in this part of the world. The other thing that was very attractive for us, in addition to the endowment, is, as I mentioned earlier, is the extraction. And so, top 10 in the world. Murat talked about that as well. Uranium, chromite, titanium, zinc, copper, iron ore, and some very big operations. In fact, those two pictures there are operations right in and around where we're based at Ekibastuz. That coal mine there started in 1954. It still has 100 years of reserve. These are some of the biggest mines on the planet. And so, that discussion around whether or not, mining is a good thing. It's not really a debate. It's happening. It's going to happen. And I think a testament to President Tokayev. Not only are they focused on extracting resources, but they're extracted on adding that secondary and tertiary processing where they can add value to that product. And then whether to Asia or to Europe, because of course they're in the Middle border. Yes. We're focused on copper gold. And for some of you, you might recognize this gentleman. This is Robert Friedland. He's the founder of Ivanhoe Mines. And last year, in fact, Ivanhoe arrived in Kazakhstan focusing on exploration for said copper. And very successable entrepreneur. In fact, his company was the one that originally founded Tolgoi in Mongolia many years ago. And I grabbed this quote from a speech that he gave here just recently in California. And I thought it was quite applicable in terms of really what we're up against over the next 15 years. So I'll read it for those in the back of the room. But how much copper are we using? We're consuming 30 million tons of copper a year, and only 4 million tons of which is recycled. That means to maintain 3% GDP growth. Now listen carefully. with no electrification. So no additional cars, no additional sort of, the green going to electrification. This is still with burning oil and gas. And to maintain 3% GDP growth, we have to mine the same amount of copper in the next 18 years as we have mined in the last 10,000 years. Now, I'm sure that 9,500 of those years were not nearly as efficient as perhaps the last 150. But in the next 18 years, I've got to mine the same amount of copper as we mined the last 10,000 years without electrification, without data centers, without solar and wind, and the greening of the whole economy. And then he said, you people have no idea whatsoever what we're facing. You're doing. And that was a speech that he made late last year to the University of California at an energy business summit. And I think this is part and parcel really what we're up against, is that we can talk about, minerals in the ground, but at the end of the day, we've got to find them and then we've got to extract them. And for us, when we first identified Kazakhstan as a place to go back in 2021, you can see, Rio Tinto was there. Campbell, of course, has had a long-standing relationship on the uranium side. Glencore, Chevron, one of their most important assets globally, is in Kazakhstan. They invested $46 billion there to expand that about 4 years ago. But you can see what's happened, subsequent to Eris getting married in 2021. But the Techs, the Barracks, the First Quantums, BHP was there last year with some support on looking for copper. B2, and it's great to see the B2 folks here and supporting this organization as well. Ivanhoe, the Chinese group Zijin bought the RG gold mine for $1.2 billion last year. And Endeavour Mining, a company that was primarily focused on mining in Africa, has now arrived in December. In addition, you're seeing very strong support and interest from the Europeans. President Macron was there 18 months ago, not talking about only about uranium for nuclear power, but also about titanium, all the titanium that goes into the Airbuses that we fly around or maybe arrived in today comes from Kazakhstan. So our overall thesis that this was a country that you could explore, you could mine, and you could obviously be quite successful about it. And the fact that we would see more and more interest from around the world is playing out, and it's happening. And it just so happens that we now have $6 copper instead of $2.50 copper as well. So in closing, I keep this quote up here because it was told to me by someone a few years ago that if you haven't been to Kazakhstan in the last 5 years, you haven't been to Kazakhstan. This is how quickly this place is changing around us. But I think the country is well positioned. For investors such as ourselves, capital flows to where it is treated the best. And it will either flow towards where it's treated the best, or it will exit where it's not well treated. And that's whether it be in the mining space or in business in general. And we've had a very good experience here. We like the strategy that President Tokayev has to obviously encourage exploration, to find mineral deposits, and then turn it into secondary and tertiary processing of the products that we use. As long as the policy maintains consistency and continuity, I think we're going to continue to see more and more groups arrive in this country. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Darren. That was a great outline as to what's happening in Kazakhstan and the endowment and how minerals are getting mined and the extent of the infrastructure. And what I found very interesting was the demand, what's going to be happening over the next little while in terms of the need for copper especially, and how Kazakhstan is evolving into a strategic partner for mining and critical minerals. Now I'd like to switch gears and talk a little bit about an overview of key mineral resources and major mining resources in Mongolia. The next speaker I have on the roster here is Jean-Pierre Marquis.
It's been Mongolia. I think it's my colleague.
Oh, is it your colleague?
From Mongolia.
Okay, Mr. Namsray. Over to you, sir. Mr. Namsray is a director general for for the National Geological Survey of Mongolia, and is a Mongolian geologist and public sector executive with extensive experience spanning academia, mineral resources administration, and financial governance. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for having me here and giving me a second chance to introduce our geological surveys developing country. So this time also, sorry, I would like to thank Geneva for introducing our good relation cooperation giving us the new stage, new view of utilizing geophysical data. So next. Here's I'm starting my presentation with some numbers. By the September 2025, we had over 900 exploration license and 1,700 mining license. It takes only 4.3% of our land, and we have available over more than 14 million hectares to have a license for exploration. And last year, within this mining license, we registered the resources. This here shows. Here, I'm showing only 6 of the commodities, which is we have very recent impact in our economy. It's gold and copper. Last year, in 2025, we registered about 2 tons of gold and 22 million tons of copper in our state registration. About the fluoride and coal, also we registered recent amount of resources, but if you see it, here's graphite is having the big player in our commodity because of this green energy transition and other types of minerals. It's very tremendous rate now. So with nowadays, there's everybody was talking about this critical minerals. So our government, we started to build a government policy of critical minerals, and also we're trying to identify these critical mineral lists for ourselves. And the NGS especially worked on this last few months, and as you see here, there's lots of nice graphics and pictures of all find these critical minerals. So we only took this nice picture to identify what kind of minerals and elements is close to us, and to identify this our list. So as you see, here's a big players of critical minerals, and there's actually 47 different types of minerals and elements, and 39 of them we have it, but only 8 of them has a very good economic impact. But the rest, on the stage of exploration and ready to extract. So we were actually last week, the National Geological Survey, we proposed to some mineral lists to our ministry to introduce in a formal cabinet, and cabinet should have a decision to which minerals can be announced as critical mineral. And we identified about 21 different types of it, and I hope this fourth quarter of 2026, Mongolia will announce their critical mineral list, and also we'll work on with the amendment to our mineral law, and I hope in the first half of 2026, Mongolia will have own critical mineral policies and lists. Well, I don't think it would be the final thing. We need more expertise and more help to reshape these policies and lists. Okay, once we announce our policy and the list, all the investors and explorers will try to explore all, the minerals in Mongolia. Then are we ready to take these explorations? Are we ready to de-risk all this exploration? In this matter, we did last year some evolution in our collected geological data. As you see here, we start collecting geological survey data since 1936. The only you see here the scale 200,000 scale geological maps. They have covered all land with 1 to 200,000 scale of geological mapping, but still we are facing problem to make these data available to investors because our digitization is not that level. We'll work on it and hope we will make it available, all these data by the 2027 to public and to investors. But the geological maps with the scale of 1 to 50,000 scale, we now covered 52% of the land with this type of mapping, but only 5.6% of data is digital data. Rest is analog and semi-digital. I mean, the only geo-referenced maps. About the geochemical survey, I know there's, I'm the geologist, and so I know how important is geochemical and geophysical data is for exploration. So we work with our geochemical surveys, and last year, I think, 2024, our National Mineral Resource Commission was hearing about this 1 to 1 million geochemical maps, and we registered the reports. So that's mean now we have fully digitized geochemical data, the scale of 1 to 1 million. Thank you. About the airborne geophysical survey, we have analog data Also, we now start having this digital data from airborne geophysics. And 2017, we started we own our national airborne geophysical project, and we covered 1/3 of the land with the airborne modern survey, and now we have this much digital data in our database, and we are planning expand this data by the 2030. We're planning to cover all land, the airborne geophysical survey, and get the digital data. And all this data has been now collected in our database, which we carry only the National Geological Survey, and we developed 6 different systems for different stakeholders and for different users. And 2025, we developed a job portal to make all these systems and the job database available for investors, public, and probably a second half of this year we will introduce the first geophysical digital data using this portal. Okay, the Mongolia is a resource-rich country, but the early stage investment is a price for uncertainty, because during that time we didn't have a decent digital data to provide the investors. But now I think our priority is make this baseline data available and make a more qualified data for investors. So our scope is first to cover the geophysics, to cover the whole land, and we're targeting complete the work in 3 to 5 years. So benefit would be huge from these projects. So we're now in the stage of talking with some financial organizations or internationally to get some financing to do these airborne tokens service. So in this here, we are identifying which field, which target would be beneficial to us and to the investors, to the ports. And we are now inviting investors and all these explorers to cooperate with us to build the new new environment of a new opportunity of modern exploration, not only for the critical minerals but also for other commodities which we have. So that's and our next steps is planned. First, we call a package, because we're trying to introduce this package to our partners, our investors. So first package is Airborne Survey. Second is Job Data Portal. And third is capacity building and exchange of this high technology and experiences. Okay, here's my presentation about the presentation of our job survey and what we're trying to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. That was very informative. The interesting parts I took away was the parts that are ready to extract, some are ready for exploration, and there's lots happening in terms of the digitization of the information that's available in Mongolia. So the next speaker I have here is Shirali President of Falcon Consultants. And he's going to be speaking on Uzbekistan. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you do. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Shirali, and I'm founder and president of Falcon Consultants in Uzbekistan. First of all, let me express gratitude, my thankful to Tatiana for organizing this event and for inviting and giving opportunity to join this event. I was personal history of Canada. It was a long journey to reach there. It's my first time in Vancouver. First of all, start my presentation regarding our content from mining. To introduce our company, our Falcon Consultants company is founded in 2022. Before I used to work for more than 15 years in government sector, in centralized organizations and sector in Uzbekistan. In 2018, I decided to move to private sector using all experience in government sector. What we do, our company is providing what kind of following services in Uzbekistan for foreign companies. And first of all, we do this with public procurement, supplying the government organizations, state-owned companies with different kind of technologies, especially what's not possible to find in local market. Next is a consulting service for investment projects, developing international business trade relations, and attracting foreign investment, and introducing the main of our part services, promoting innovative technologies of foreign companies to state-owned government organizations. One of the main direction of our business is tourism. We organize business tourism, education tourism, especially we are focusing on business tourism because inviting the foreign companies to Uzbekistan, introducing the country and making the connections with private companies and state-owned companies. In these days, we are working interested in following business projects. We have several, two companies. We have already 4 years. We are working on defense sector. We have almost supplying our Minister of Defense with different kind of technologies. Our company is just almost more than 1 year is entering to the mining sector. As our shareholders is more involved in mining companies in Uzbekistan. That's why we are pioneers of this sector. And Next, international trade and import and export, which is more related to procurement services to government state companies. We are finding the suppliers of foreign companies and to supply directly to end user of the Uzbek companies, the state-owned companies especially. And tourism, as I have already mentioned, what kind of services we offer to companies. We now move to main part of our the topic. As I told you, we are pioneers of the mining sector. We are just entering the mining sector in Uzbekistan. What we are going to introduce about Uzbekistan, especially mostly like here, more companies is all the knows about Uzbekistan, and even the practical part of also in some projects. The mining industry is a key sector of in Uzbekistan economy, like playing a significant role in national economy, which most of the approximate 6% of GDP and investment volume reached after 2016 almost $1.5 billion. Before, this sector was unfortunately more closed and more limited opportunity to enter this mining sector in Uzbekistan. Because of our president, Shavkat Mirziyoyev, he opened the doors for in strategic sectors in economy, like a defense, which we are, as a private company, is all over participating in getting projects. And mining sector also last 3-4 years is opening the doors for foreign investors, for private companies in local level also as well. Through the government tenders and online auctions to get the gold and copper, especially gold fields, is for private investing. Uzbekistan, it's brief information about Uzbekistan. Area is almost 5,500 population. Almost we reached this year 38 million, which is growing in Central Asia mostly. We have political system as a presidential democratic republic. So Uzbek is our official language, widely used as a former Soviet Union country, like we use in Russian, especially in English is more becoming popular among young generation. What's the strategic priority for mining sector? In 2025, our president announced a strategic priority plan for Uzbekistan economy, accepting a 2025-2030 strategic plan. It's a global producer in mining sector, using all opportunities of Uzbekistan deposit, which is not used in last 20-25 years, which is not lack of investment, because of lack of investment, which is not open for worldwide. And rich deposits, which we have more deposit in copper, silver, lithium, and rare earth elements, especially gold, which Uzbekistan ranking in the world of fifth ranking. And modern garners, which opened its doors and for private and foreign companies to work in Uzbekistan market, strategic sectors as well. Which I told you the 2030 vision is mining sectors, one of the central achievement high middle income countries starts with strategic announcement. By this plan, it's Uzbekistan planning to increase copper production to 500,000 tons, gold from 120 to 155 tons. Uranium, especially, also it's a strategic investment sector in mining. So by this vision, our government is going to increase it to up to 10,000 tons per year. Silver is to 500 tons. So brief information about mineral resource base and deposits of Uzbekistan, which reserves in gold, silver, copper, uranium, lithium, and tungsten. According to government records, the total value of mineral sources estimated almost 3 billion trillions US dollars, which is estimated approximately 2 years ago. And next slide is maximum production growth targets by 2030, which I already know information. Copper going annually to produce 500,000, gold, silver, and uranium. Investment opportunities. Here's briefly to explain, in mining sector in Uzbekistan is, if you more informed here, it's we have two companies, state-owned, which are main important companies in Uzbekistan, which own the mining sector. It's a Navai Gold company and Al-Malik, it's producing the copper. These companies also, from 2026, planning to through the online actions and state tenders to invite attract foreign investment. As of 2024, almost 15 foreign investors already actively Uzbekistan participating in Uzbekistan sector in both companies in Navai Mining and Metallurgy Company and Al-Malik Mining and Metallurgy Complex. How is the important investment in mining in our country? Provides a significant share of exports. Gold accounts for 20-25% of export revenues in our national economy. Stimulates the development of metallurgy and raw material processing and promotes economic diversification. Usually, except these deposits in copper, gold, regular production. Uzbekistan is more paying attention to attract investment to critical minerals as well. Last year, our president also visited the United States after following the Chinese companies, and US companies also started from last year to discover the critical minerals mining sector in Uzbekistan. Investment plan economic growth. 2024, almost in mining sector and foreign direct investment is reached 12 billion USD direct investment, and our government is doing all legal framework to ensure the investment protection because of we have a not so history in investment like protection like last 20 years. And one of the main processes what our government is doing is joining to WTO organization, World Trade Organization. It's planned to in this year in March. Hopefully, we will be one of the member of WTO this year. And I hope through this organization, our government will more access to foreign investment and more global market. Uzbekistan minerals for the global. It's about critical minerals which Uzbekistan are focusing on to attract the foreign investment and becomes one of the global player in critical minerals market. Here's a strategic to become a strategic mineral supplier. As we know, like more than like 80% of global critical minerals is owned production of belongs to China, and we also are focusing on to reduce this and get some of our portion in critical minerals by attracting the foreign investment, especially from Canada and United States. Opportunities and support for investors. What shortly we are introducing what our government is doing. First of all, the tax and customs incentives offering the tax and customs like preferences, same like procedures, like simplified process for establishing entities and joint companies with local companies, with private companies, and obtaining the license for mining sector. Government dedication to sustainable mining and market principles, international corridor connecting improving logistics and market access. As you know, Uzbekistan is one of the second country in the world, the double landlocked country. We don't have direct access to the sea. At least we should cross two countries. That's why we're using and road and railroad logistics, especially for export purposes. Now our government we have almost actively working is 4 or 5 logistics ways, and Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan, China, and Uzbekistan, Afghanistan is last 2 directions is ongoing projects, which all of this year is started with building Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, China railroad. And Uzbekistan is in center of the Central Asia, and it's access to Europe and to East, and so the Afghanistan Trans-Afghan railroad, and its access to it opens for us Iran and for Caspian Sea, Middle East, and to Indian Sea. And it's a sales free zone, trade zone joining, and it's all like logistics, which neighboring countries with sales countries, which we have a very strong relationship in business and economy. Investment plan reforms. Here's some comparison with showing here in our slide. It's what before in 2016 and after 2016, after coming in one president, Mr. Shavkat Mirziyoyev, what kind of changes in doing for foreign investment to change in climate in Uzbekistan. Recently, here's after 2016, our government established several government state organizations which will be protect foreign investment interests. It's like an investment promotion agency, Minister of Investment and Foreign Trade. Even Prime Minister's reception also accepting now all kind of issues from foreign companies regarding investment issues, and business ombudsman also is getting more opportunity to protect in local and foreign level to companies in protecting their rights in investment sector. And Tashkent International Arbitration Center also newly created, which so like a secondary option using state courts to protect their rights in court system. Conclusion. Here's our conclusion. Why is investment in Uzbekistan mining future? As we already mentioned, rich resources which is not used last 30 years, which with a big natural resource deposit. Strategic position, critical role in global energy. We are going to enter the global market in mining, in critical minerals and sector as well, and strong support the government commitment and continuous improving business climate to support foreign investment, and as I already mentioned, vision 2030 vision, Uzbekistan joint is becoming global mining powerhouse. It's what our government is doing, strong what they started, and to finalize it end of the road of this vision. And this, I think, this the best and good time trying to invest in Uzbekistan in mining sector. And thank you for attention. And this in this field, what we can do, we can do our best to support foreign investment companies, foreign companies to introduce in Uzbekistan and promote their projects and interests and introduce to our government state companies as a partner companies.
Thank you very much, Raleigh. I took away from that that mining is a strategic priority, and there's ambitious production targets for 2030, and there's potential for long-term partnerships, and it's a good time because of the investment climate in Uzbekistan. And I see that there's a lot of different types of support, including international trade. Here, very interesting presentation. We are on time. It looks like we have getting a thumbs up from the boss here. We have time for a question.
Nice.
Yes. Okay, 1 or 2 questions before the intermission. So if anybody has any questions about what you heard, speak now or forever hold the peace. Right.
Any questions, please?
I hold that in reserve until after the intermission. Okay.
All right, so shall we just announce the intermission?
Yes, it's now time for tea and business networking. So time to network.
Yeah. So I will circulate around because I have a very special role today to give the certificates of membership to our members who did not get the certificates yet, but I don't want to keep everyone around the table because we have some coffee, some refreshments outside.
Okay, thanks very much.
Yeah. We are waiting you to check in this room for within about 15 minutes.
Yes. If you notice me there. Let's see. I was sitting on the hard bench. It's really kind of putting a lot of strain on my back. I had to. So you know what? I was gonna ask, but I decided I'll save it for next time when I really need it. That's just good to see you. I wasn't sure if you were coming or not. I wasn't expecting such a big turnout. As I'm pretty sure I'm trying to remember, but I'm pretty sure you were yeah. I'm not thinking it was 20.
It's energy. It's energy. Actually, I'm very impressed.
How are you? Nice to see you.
This is the actual purpose for the meeting.
Speaking of one of the companies, specific. Well, if you can't, we have to go to more economic. Hello.
Are you calling? Yes.
And so we started talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool
So it's for so I had questions to you.
Where do you have the time?
And then you.
There will be a clicker.
You'll be able to, like,
Yeah.
the next time, just like all the.
Yeah, I noticed in the Pacific Standard Time, it's just a tricky sport to explain. Because when you're out east, at least Standard Time Zone, you have a little like that 3-hour buffer in your favor, but being out west, it's always. 5 a.m., 6 a.m. where you do it, like I said, until midnight or so. But as long as it's not a waste of time, then it's
I'm getting more things like settling in Germany.
It was a blessed day. I thought it was 6 months.
Yeah, you never want to go that.
Exactly. Maybe even a little bit earlier than 6 months in case there's some kind of a hold up or whether.
It breaks it up. As long as it goes 6 months out of the country and then come here. I was getting frustrated.
I know. Business aspect of spectrum.
He was mentioning something about offering.
Yeah, time.
These projects here in Calgary.
What are people saying on the share? Or are they happy with how parties handling everything so far?
You got conservatives would have wished he would have been
conservative. I heard my friend was actually saying he would have been a great conservative as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because he's a business guy. And you'll just find a little bit better.
It's the other side with environmentally friendly.
There's nothing wrong with the environment. It's just that.
Better understand what's but anyways.
Taking his job.
Yeah. Very good. All right, thanks.
So, no, I have all.
Я не знаю.
Are you happy with his daughter's speech? Raised it.
Это другая, это вообще, это отсюда в другой стороне вообще. Так, сейчас мы раздадим вам всем.
Telling the world what
Okay, thank you.
Deny the reliance on the United States, not just for Canada, but also for Europe, safety. I understand what he's saying, and I feel like we do have to stand up to Trump. He respects power.
Today.
Oh, he wasn't. I missed it.
Trump asked to talk about it. So,
see, he respects power.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is.
That's whole party backtracks. Party, the speaker went to. No. They're spinning in there.
That's the media. They need that. They need the clickbait, but they can everything is all good and
make it sound like Trump is number one. No, and then what party basically outlined.
Я не знаю, я вчера позвонила.
Another guy who's a business.
Do you think it's going to make it to 4 years for the rest of the term? Because it seems like this cognitive decline, this dementia, and you can kind of tell he's starting to pick up pace because he's not a sharp resource in the beginning of the presidency. There's only been 1 year, and you can see he almost forgets.
There's physical stuff.
Well, your seat even have to walk the carpet, right?
Kevin is the managing partner of this. Not too easy.
Oh, okay.
That's the senior product.
Yeah.
I don't
know this. Okay. No, I should have taken it in 2020.
Any point being a managing partner for taking it.
I knew it right. Okay, sir. All right. Bad. Term. Back to the loss.
Were you here when Enzo was here? No, after Enzo.
Right. So, no, I still think.
Definitely not. You won't get
So we almost have this theory that this trust, right? Politics, it's almost like a piece of paper, right? Once you crumple it, sure, you can stretch it out again, lines and everything in there. Happened. You would have been much better off just taking.
Yeah.
It's already happened. We're the superpower that everybody was relying on, and you couldn't move the mountains with one phone call. Now you see all of these alliances forming that weren't even around before.
Yeah.
So how old are your kids?
The bigger one is China.
No, it wasn't appreciating China. It was to remove some of the restrictions that they had on. Yeah. That's right. I wanted to say about India. So see if you can get the banking. The pricing is going to be very competitive. But if you're not able to open up the bank accounts in India, then we can help you with the offshore INR transactions. But because it's offshore, usually there's a bit more of a spread. So see if you can do it within.
So what we're getting is we're getting funds from me. So this week, Dave D'Souza's. He's got a company some business place. One of the guys is
I see, but double check.
Yeah, I'll double check.
Oh, it is. Yeah, the Indian one. That's the one I know.
Chinese one. Sorry. So the they're so restricted in capital out. They want money in.
That's what I was gonna say. For us to get money in, it's no problem. You just give me the phone call, we can do it. I don't even think we can get money in. Unless it runs through another country or something directly out of India, I don't think we can get it.
So one of the things that is going on, so I'm doing this blockchain.
Yeah.
Dealing with colleague cost.
Sorry, no, just for 1 second, I was just trying. I know you. I need to mark it every time we can.
Anyway,
We'll be back.
Thank you for the pen and pencil.
So doing this to sell credits, watching them and transfer, because the CFOs have time to look at paper, PDFs, for the accounting, for the tracing, tracking, transparency, transferring. So I'm justifying. So anyway, this group in India, they're getting $5 million system. We're cutting the deal. We're cutting the deal. We're gonna get 500,000. It's gonna yeah. And it's gonna be the boss. But for Boston, it's I'm doing this. And others. So there's a lady lawyer, one of the law firms. She's in Seattle. That's not far away.
I was gonna say a lot easier than Boston.
Yeah. So anyway, that's one that I know that. But I
Yeah, because to bring the funds in is also very simple. Like you have your stuff.
Quite sure that between now and then we're trying to raise $2 million. They did the guys got some financing, but it's got big bond. Well, that's why US treasuries are traded right now. Yes. So we need to get like $2 million, $1 million per deal to investment. So float parts of bonds and support them, and then we can use that as collateral.
Almost like a deposit.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, and then I'm hoping to take bucks pieces. Again, bringing.
I think I'll still grab it, right? That's okay.
But he does is that.
Hi. Good to see you. Thank you.
So that's
well, we will engage you later because we will be here.
Do you need, I guess, anything from me at this time?
Not yet.
Thank you very much. Yeah, this is Johnny on your head. All right.
No, I have one more.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much.
That's something that was introduced in 2025.
This was earlier. Green bonds are you can have a country or a corporation issue a bond. It's a debt instrument.
Yeah.
Green bond is one where they for specific projects that are environmentally oriented. Criteria to get that. So they're monitored.
So how does it go? Like?
So it's just tested. Actually did not.
Do you need to step out? I'm going to start again. Yeah, please do. I had to do it myself, or else this will get hang of it. Oh, my pleasure. I was trying to make eye contact, but so it was too much going on. It was blending in, and the view as well. I'm sure you're just kind of wondering towards that one. So I know this. My eyes always wonder every single time I'm here.
There's countless planes. So they call it sort of like an after.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That operation developed so hard skin.
Jeremy, so it's a lot.
Okay, good.
So we have the panel.
Yes. I already have it open.
All right, I'll let you do your thing.
Yeah, thanks.
There will be a special life.
Yes.
There. Overall, all good.
Yeah.
How much time we have? Start at 11:15, yeah? So what are we going to say? I was telling you. I was actually working there because I have to run. So my bag is over there and camera, everything is over there.
On the ground?
Yeah, my bag is yeah. Just pack everything and whichever place to be in, laptop, everything, and then either the camera can take it to a room or the camera can bring it to UPC.
Okay.
Whichever is okay. Just letting you know, I already got
And whose laptop is that? Okay, so only that's the camera and also the plug-in.
plug-in port. I will pack everything in the bag.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a LinkedIn profile. It's easy because yeah, what you can I'm okay. Next thing you know, Fighting yes. Oh, okay. Yes.
That's your extra comment. Thanks again.
Yeah. Sunrise, like yeah, it was a very short trip. I can't 5 days. Yeah, people are always and you know, okay. Yeah, better.
Yeah, that's great. I guess what we need to have people there. How we could do it? Is it kind of like yeah. Yeah, really nice to meet you. And I want to say what
Yes, you do.
I was taking pictures of that.
Yes.
Is it split or? It wasn't printed on the any label. She registered last minute.
And yeah, and all
Yeah, we were supposed to do mining exploration.
it was well accepted. And
I'm really sorry.
and
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's amazing. I was just saying I'm status First Nations. I'm like presenting. I'm sure that things are.
Mongolia from Siberia, but I
I've worked in professional hockey around the world. Toronto has a challenge in the back there. I don't have to get banned, and I started exploring consulting. So yeah, focusing on male
I know. Yeah, 60% wins. It's probably 5 p.m. his time already. Yes.
I would love. I will reach out because I'd love to learn more of things. And things that we're doing here that really work. Yeah. I think there's a lot of organizations where that can help. I lots of stuff there, but I was next to you. And that's a lot to do that.
I don't have much of a technology. I don't think because I have a lot of kids. My name's I've known Tatiana.
That's, same with me. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, can I ask? Next one? Okay, everyone who is outside of the room, please proceed inside. Please invite everyone. Okay, thank you, everyone. We have some people joined us online, so just have in mind that first of all, the event is being recorded. And second is that there are people somewhere in the universe listening to what we are doing here as well. So thank you for coming back for the second panel. I would like now to introduce our moderator for the second panel. It's Mr. Andrei Makovetsky, Sales Director for AME Roundup Corporation for Eurasia. He is graduated from Moscow State University in 1993, later studied in several Russian and Western universities, specializing in international business. Mr. Makovetsky has been living in Canada since 1999, working in international business development, sales, marketing, and management for Canadian and international companies. His work was primarily related to supplies of mineral processing equipment and parts for the mining companies in Europe, Middle East, Russia, Kazakhstan, and other countries of Central Asia. And I would like to mention that we are working together with Andrei for many, many years, 10 years at least. And I'm very happy to give this panel in his capable hands because he is a very good specialist on Eurasia. Okay,
very much, Tatiana, for the introduction. And good late morning for everyone. It's nice to start the second panel, so guaranteed everyone has woken up and we can continue. So the second panel will consist of two different directions. And the first one, first section will be dedicated more for the Mongolian market, and the second one for the practices in safety and regulatory in mining industry. So I would like to say a few words about Mongolia. It's a vast country with about 1.5 million square kilometers of area and about 3.5 million of population. So it's the most sparsely populated country in the world, with only 2 people per square kilometer. So you can imagine that with limited resources in population, the vast territory, it still is vastly unexplored. So it definitely attracts a lot of interest, even just looking at the audience. We have a few guests from Mongolia, and the companies that are going to present, they do contribute to development of the country and development of the mining industry in the country. And there are world-known operations, so Erdenet, and some other companies working there, and their experience and their contribution to the local economy definitely puts the Mongolia on the prime position in the world. So the first presenter whom I would like to introduce, Angzu Hushik-Bayar, works for the company called TrickTech, and she resides in Canada and specializes in providing digital methods to the mining industry. So I would like to invite her to this podium and to start her presentation, please.
Thank you for the introduction, Erin. And first of all, I would like to mention that it is my honor to present here representing my company, TrickTech. So TrickTech, it is a consulting company specializing in modern technology, geological and geotechnical mining and environmental sectors. It was founded in 2013 in Denver, USA, and after 2 years, we established our Ulaanbaatar base in Mongolia base. And starting from 2018, we built a strong collaboration with global mining companies. And 2020, we shifted our focus into more digital and AI-driven methods. So we started working with Imago and OES. And 2021, we opened our China representative office. We made some expansions. And we also started partnering with Sequent, Freshworks, and SLB. It is also our honor that in 2022, we were recognized as the best taxpayer in our country. And in 2023, we made a rebranding and also made another expansion into Kazakhstan. And starting from 2024, we started collaborating with SPT, Stockholm Precision Tools. And starting from last year, we expanded mining consulting and geotechnical monitoring services, collaborating with Dasvik, Orica, Digital Solutions. So apart from focusing on our financial performances, operational efficiency, we also try to comply with ESG policies. So for the environmental sectors, right now we are partnered with 5 projects focused on environment. And last year we decomposed 150 kilograms of food waste in our office. I'd like to mention that we have a pet earthworm in our office. And for the social impacts, we have 6 countries where we ran work and travel program for our employees. So that means every year we go to another countries to do work and travel for our employees. Last year in 2025, we went to Vietnam. Right now, 55 children are benefiting from flexible work arrangements that we are offering for our employees. And we have 30 open professional trainings delivered to our employees. So that means we also focus on our employee consistent learning. And for the governance side, we are now partnering with 18 international companies with different ESG terms. So we are also complying with those ESG terms of our partnering companies. We have 4 internal trainings conducted in 2025, covering both mental wellness and professional development. So about our professionals, we have 100+ professionals, including the full-time, remote, and project-based specialists. We have 45 geology professionals, 20 geotechnical and hydrogeological specialists, and 10 mining and mineral processing experts, 12 technicians and remote operators, 19 digital AI solutions, software and data professionals, and we also have a dedicated HSE and cybersecurity team. We also have strong commercial and investment advisory team. So that means I would like to mention that we have professionals who have both geological knowledge and also data analytics and digital data solutions. For the technical services, we offer exploration consulting, target generation consulting, data management and data transition, mineral evaluation, geotechnical consulting, and other services as investment and trainings. So those are the companies that we partnered together in geology, mining, geotechnical monitoring, HSE, cybersecurity, and environment with these 4 sectors. About our experience on the map, it is showing that number of projects that we have done past years. There is around silver, copper, coal, rare earth element, and other elements in Mongolia, Kazakhstan, China, Kyrgyzstan, and England. So right now, I would like to introduce our very young project, Gena AI Unlocking Dark Data. So what it does is it captures core image, and also based on the hand log and audio log, it produces codified ready-to-use data. So that can be seamlessly integrated into databases, and it can be used to further development. And modeling software, downstream digital workflows, turning previously inaccessible information into actionable insight. But this project is now in a demo version. It needs to further development now. And by saying that, I would like to say that if you share the same interests with the further projects, we would like to welcome you guys to collaborate with us. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, Anzul. So the audience should remember that TrickTech already has experience partnering with Western companies and would be able to work as a conductor of your interests in the country as well. The second presentation will be arranged by the Mongolian company Geosan. The company owns a park of small aircrafts in Mongolia and provides airborne services, deals with geophysical and photogrammetrical research and mapping services for the country. And this service is the first step for understanding where the potential deposits could be located. So I'm welcoming Mr. Seden Damba Oyunbuyan, or he can go by Dumbo, to deliver this second presentation.
Good. Thank you for presenting. First of all, I would like to thank Ms. Anna. Today. Okay. Josan was founded in 1996. We are a Mongolian-based aviation company and providing chartered flights, airborne job visas, and geospatial network services. We operate in section of aircraft operation, airborne and ground job visas mapping, survey, mapping and technical consulting and mining sector. What makes Geoscience unique is that we combine aviation capability and geoscience expertise under one organization, allowing us to deliver to end-to-end solution from flight operation, data acquisition, processing, and interpretation. Our services are divided around three core pillars. First one is aviation, second one is airborne job visas, third one is airborne diagnostic job visas service mapping. On the aviation side, we provide chartered flights, helicopter operations, maintenance and repair services, airport and heliport management, ground handling services, and special mission flights. Geoscience side, our service include airborne and ground job visas, photogrammetry mapping, large-scale cell mapping, digitizing services, such as mineral exploration and economics. Sorry, my background is not aviation. It's just writing. And the aviation part offer tailored and adaptive product solutions designed to meet specific operation needs each flight. We operate under valid operation permission and maintenance certificate, ensuring compliance with national and international aviation standards. Currently, we operate three-wing aircraft and 2 helicopters is set up with job physics equipment and the camera. We mostly use the charter survey and special mission flights. And then our aviation team consists of 35 specialists and engineers. There's including pilot, ground handling engineers, some other engineers, safety engineers. All personnel under regular training to maintain high operational and safety standards. Our hangar facility located in Mongolia and all national international airport can accommodate 4 fixed wing and 2 helicopters. We also provide maintenance and repair service third parties maintaining our own service. Here's our team who came. We have management, admin, totally 25. Geoscience team in totally 25 person. Eurasion is totally 35. During last years, between 2022 2025, Geoscience completed our 3,600 flight hours across charter, test and ferry flights. Our aviation department was established 2007, and our years we have built strong safety record and reputation as a reliable operator in Mongolian general aviation sector. Okay. There's nothing other last year. We think there are a few key advantages with our company. There are first manpower experience and our training workflow for all specific engineer as well as training. Second, long operation track record. Third, international software and partners. And we also especially attention to safety because safety is core while in aviation industry. We use in-house safety management system called SUIT, developed by our own aviation experts. This system supports safety reporting, risk assessment, and compliance monitoring, and designed to be friendly and easily. SUIT reflects our deep operational knowledge and commitment to proactive safety management system. Then we are launching the new products. This is aviation training academy planned for 2026. Academy will provide pilot training, including recurrent training and aviation courses such as human factors, safety management systems. This academy allows us to build up our own human resources, reduce our market risk, and maintain consistent operations that are around. During this job, we operate with a specialized team of job engineers and processing engineers. We conduct airborne job discovery using radiometry connect with each other methods. Supported by advanced equipment from some companies sharing this, like radiation solution German. Currently, we are executing major project of airborne job discovery with Mongolia and Indian government organizations. Person is Mongolian project, next one is Indian project. Last one is we are aerophotographic surveying mapping project with Mongolian capital city governors. There's during 3 years project. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Brightness.
Thank you very much, Lambo. Okay, our second part of this panel will be dedicated to the impact that mining industry is causing to the earth and how the people who are involved in working with the mining industry are exposed to different risks. And along with such industries as agriculture, urbanization, and maybe irrigation, the presence of mining industry is the most visible on our planet, and definitely it should be regulated. There are many risks involved specific to this industry that could be related to rockfalls, fires, confined spaces, respiratory hazards, etc. So it requires proper rules to be followed. And we have two leading specialists from the BC Ministry of Mining and Critical Minerals to deliver the latest changes in the regulatory that the operators of mines in British Columbia should abide. So I would like to invite Mr. Jorge Freitas and Mr. Hermanos Henning to update us on the latest developments in this area.
Thank you, Andrew. My name is Herman. I am currently working with the Ministry of Mining and Critical Minerals. I'm the Executive Director for Health and Safety, and I also carry the statutory decision maker of Chief Inspector of Mines. I apologize if I speak a bit slowly. I have been told quite often that I've got a heavy accent. So I normally try and speak a bit slower so that people understand me. And if you do not understand me, please feel free to understand. Working in a multi-national environment like us, we quite often have an accent that other people don't understand. And as communication is absolutely essential for health and safety, we try to make a point of understanding each other before we actually act upon it. So thank you for inviting us. We're going to talk about the mining industry in BC itself. This is not Canada, this is British Columbia. As you know, we've got a couple of provinces and territories, and each area is managed by their own group of people. So my name is Herman Henning. Jorge Freitas is the Deputy Chief Inspector of Mines, and he is also responsible for the code review. That's the legislation that actually governs health and safety in BC. So George is responsible for that. Next, the clicker. Which one is this?
Right.
Like that. Just a couple of quick facts for British Columbia. We've got a population of approximately 5.3 million. We have grown significantly over the last couple of years. We've got two ports currently operating, which is very, very busy ports. One is at Prince Rupert, and the other one is, of course, Vancouver itself. And then we are also home to over 200 groups of First Nation people, which is approximately 1/3 of the Canadian number. So very diverse environment that we have to operate in, and we have to understand our stakeholders in. Key facts. The Ministry of Critical Minerals is divided into basically 4 different groups. The one division is the Mines, Health and Safety and Enforcement Division. That is a division that we work in. And in this division, we've got 4 different branches looking at the different issues in the province. First of all is the Office of the Chief Inspector. That's the branch, it's the biggest branch in the division, and we look after health, safety, environment, compliance, and worker and public safety in the industry. We also look after emergency responses. We do investigations and certifications. Certifications is part of the proactive work that we do to ensure that people are properly trained and competent to do the work. Because mining, irrespective of how we look at it, is a hazardous occupation. And if we put untrained people into that environment, it's a recipe for disaster. We also got the regular management and enforcement branch. That is a group of people that assist us in order to make sure that people are compliant and that we're doing the right things. We've got MAS. MAS is standing for Mines Audit and Strategic Services. That is part of our, and I'll speak to a bit later on, that is part of our continuous improvement. So this group actually comes out and it audits everything that we do. And it will tell us, listen, government, you are doing a good job, or listen, government, you're not doing a good job. In which case we will take our processes, renew it, and go back into industry and try to provide a better service. So we get audited continuously, and we try to improve our services all the time. And the last one is AMB. It's Abandoned Mines branch. Not many people are aware of it, but before 1969, although mines had permits, there was never a reclamation deposit applicable to the mine. So when a mine is finished mining and they leave BC, there's a disturbed area of land, and there was never money for that before 1969. After 1969, we started getting, so all these mines that we see in this group is abandoned. They don't have any money connected to them, and we as a province is on the hook for ensuring health and safety at those sites. Sometimes it's just an open hole in the ground and so on, and we go and we make these areas public exposed to any safety hazards in these abandoned mines. Okay, just in short, what do we regulate? First of all, we do health and safety. Health and safety is, and the environment, of course, is our #1 priority. Every single appointed inspector is responsible for health and safety. We've got about 4,500 properties that we regulate. We're a group of approximately 37 boots on the ground inspectors, and we regulate 4,500 properties, of which mineral exploration accounts for 1,750 approximate. These are all approximate numbers. And 70 coal, and then the 90 abandoned mines that I talked about. And then currently we've got 87 metal mines that's operational, 22 coal mines, sand and gravel operations, which also fall under our regulations, is about 1,200. And then the quarries as well as the placer mines, and we spoke about placer mines before. And then, of course, certifications that I spoke about. So that's just in a glance of what we're doing. How do we regulate? This is our compliance management framework. We've got the Mines Act, Mines Regulations, and the code, the British Columbia Code for Mining. And then lastly, we've got permit conditions. Those are the 4 things that we regulate the company by. The first fee is common for everybody, but for each site, there are specific permit conditions depending on where it is, where it's situated, what the influence is, there water, is there anything in the area. So those. And what do we do? First of all, we start off with compliance promotion. So we educate the industry. We say, this is what we expect from you. This is what we want from you. Okay? Then after we've done that, we regulate. We go out to the sites on a regular basis and see whether the company actually enforces what we ask them to do. Okay? And then the last one is enforcement. If a company continuously does not comply to the legislation or the permit conditions, we do enforcement. So we've got different methods of enforcing. It is Section 35 orders, it's AMPs, administrative monetary penalties. It's actually legal action, and then we can even take them to court and force them through a court procedure to comply. All the time while we're using this, we have to keep in consideration with our indigenous partners who are the custodians of this land, Salish people in this area where we work and play now. And we keep them involved. They go with us in inspections. They're part of a code review. They're part of the whole process as we speak, from permitting right through to closure. And then lastly, continuous improvement regulatory framework that I was talking about. I was talking about the orders, talking about the code review that get renewed on a regular basis. I think George is going to talk about that. New regulations coming out just soon. And we also look at compliance trends. If we go into industry and we find the same thing happen over and over and over again, we look at it and say, well, what do we do wrong? Why do we get this? Should we do something about it and improve it? When this is the last slide I will speak about, and then I will hand over to Georgie. This is the activities that we spoke, and I think I've mentioned all of that, so I'm not going to go into detail. If there's any questions afterwards, then please feel free to ask me about it, and I'll speak about it. But before I hand over to Georgie, I just want to say that one of the biggest things that currently is assisting and hampering us with regards to health and safety is new technology. New technology is here. It's going to be in the mining industry. It's going to be part of our lives. It doesn't matter how we look at it, we need to embrace it. And so that's the biggest thing about new technology and safety is the unknown. There's a lot of unknowns about new technology. And yes, it helps us, it makes everything safer, but we need to be very careful how we implement it. And that's why we have to look at it and make sure that when we introduce new technology, it does not create new hazards in the mining industry. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Pleasure being here again. This is the second year in a row that we are representing the ministry, and it's a pleasure more than anything. Let's hope that people on the back of the room can hear me. Can you hear me? Okay. In terms of accent, as you may notice, no different than Herman's comment. If you need any further explanation, just ask. It's a pleasure to be exchanging experiences with you. That is our goal, more than anything, okay? So Herman was basically covered this aspect of what we do, going a little bit deeper into how the Office of the Chief Inspector does regulate the mining industry. We have inspections, he covered on that. We do have a risk-based inspection planning. Basically what we do, we try to identify and select critical components, critical factors in the mining industry and associated with the type of mine, location of the mine, number of people working at the mine, capacity to respond to an emergency. All of those factors, we try to put them together in our inspection planning. Performance in terms of safety indicators, how many incidents there were at that particular mine, the severity of those incidents. So we try to collect as much information as we can to bring into our risk-based inspection planning. The resources we have, as Herman mentioned, we don't have one person per mine in BC, so we need to be very selective and trying to be as targeted as possible to be efficient. So inspections is the core of what we do on boots of the ground type of approach. We rely on that approach for ensuring that we are doing the best we can to ensure that people are safe out there. Then the participation of First Nations, Herman mentioned about that, very important, very significant part of what we do is always having the First Nations and workers, by that matter, the labor participation in our inspections. The participation of the Occupational Health Safety Committee, co-chairs or members from the worker side is always there. We always request, we go to a mine and say, we would like to have an OHSC person from the worker side accompanying the inspection because we can hear about things that we may not hear from management at the same time. So very critical. Then our communication, we do have as much as we can, we communicate with the industry in terms of significant incidents and the reportable incidents as well. Mines have to report what we call reportable incidents or dangerous occurrences to us. So when we get all of the information and we can make some sense of what is coming, we share that with the industry again to make sure that we are trying the best we can to avoid reoccurrence. That is the idea. And then education, same thing. So we just had in December, we had an HSE conference in Vancouver where we are trying, and that was the second year we did that. So we brought that event together. We try to bring the industry, we try to bring workers, First Nations into the same room so we can discuss about specific topics on health and safety and try to develop a common goal within the industry. Very critical, very important. And we have also, we mentioned this last year, we have our annual provincial mine rescue competition. Very important, very, very important. Unfortunately, it would be ideal if we never needed a mine rescue team to actually work, because when they do, it's because something bad happened, unfortunately. So to ensure that our people are at the top of their game whenever they are needed, we promote this annual provincial competition to make sure that people are practicing, are tested, and are up to the test whenever that comes. Hopefully, they will never be needed, but unfortunately, it's not a reality. Then we go to a passion of mine, health safety reclamation codes for mines in BC. As I would like to believe that this is one of the most gratifying experiences I've had in my life. When you think about having First Nations, labor, and industry on the same table for each, and being able to chair that group with, in some cases, as you may imagine, so much conflict in terms of perspectives, opinions, and having a group of that sort working together for a common goal. It sounds good because it is good. It's not just me saying, that's exactly what it happens. So people trying to do the best they can to improve regulations, to bring the code up to date, to do the best we can to avoid and minimize incidents in the mining industry. It's fantastic. It's the only thing I can share with you. It's fantastic when you see people from such a different background coming together and with a common goal. Incredible. Collaboration is a key word there. The Standing Code Review Committee, I already said, First Nation, labor, and industry. Basically, we try to select the topics to come to the discussion to be reviewed. And at the end of the day, the CIC, what we call the review committee, needs to achieve consensus. If one person from one party is not happy with it, we go back to the table and we have to discuss until we have consensus. Fortunately enough, we've had successes in the past 6 years that we are doing. Can you still hear me? Yeah. Okay. Then the recent revisions in 2024, April last year, April 2024, actually. It was before our meeting. I actually shared some green books with some of you here last year. We did that review, and one of the a few of the revisions that we focused on was requirements for tailings and storage, TSS, and dams. Worker safety where drowning was at risk. We've had fatalities in the past 15 years involving people drowning in water ponds, in ponds, mine ponds, and TSF. So that was one component that the CRC found to be necessary to be addressed. So we were able to do that and bring that into the code. Those revisions in 2024, they are all part of the new code. And more importantly, for 2026, actually, we hope that within the next 3 months or so, we are going to have a new code being published, and we will be sharing that code with whoever has an interest on it. As soon as it's published, please connect with us, and we will share that book with you. A critical, and when I get to the last slide. Pay attention to electrical safety, use of ATV. These 2 items there, you will see that there is a reason why we are working on those 2 items for the next code. It's very critical, very important. And then bullying and harassment and adjustment to shifts longer than 8 hours. What is this? You may not even realize what is this. So basically, working hours for the mining industry, generally speaking, you work 8 hours. That's the base for exposure to contaminants, mainly airborne contaminants, noise as well. But generally speaking, all the calculation that you do is based on 8 hours per day, 5 days per week. But in a large portion of the mining industry out there, they actually work 10 hours per day, 12 hours per day in some cases. So when that happens, then you need to adjust all the limits you have for some of the substances to match with that minimum there. So, or the maximum there. So that is a limit. We are working on that. And the new one, ergonomics. Ergonomics is right now it has a sentence in the book, in the code, and we are expanding that as well. Bullying and harassment, again, I believe this will be the very first regulation in Canada to have actually bullying and harassment being addressed in the regulation. So this is something we are very, very proud to say that we are doing. Okay. Mine investigation unit, Herman mentioned about that, is depending on the severity of incidents we have at mine sites, we have a protocol where we respond to it accordingly. Small incidents are just reported and then we deal with the mine. And as it goes up in severity, we have to up our game to respond as well. When it gets to the top, when we have to activate our mine investigation unit, for unfortunately fatalities or accidents that are very high consequence. And that is a specific group of people within Herman's team that is just focused on that. They don't do anything else in terms of inspections or anything. They are focused on investigating incidents with the hope that we will learn from it. Lastly, that is something that we would like to believe that it may be the most critical piece of information we are sharing with you, quite frankly. The fact that you are exposed to situations where the outcome was bad, I believe the only thing you can do is to learn from it. And how can you work towards minimizing reoccurrence? How can you share at minimum part of the information of what happened, so you who are going to be at the mine site, or perhaps in the near future, can remember that and pay attention to it. So I believe that information that comes to us and we keep it with us doesn't help. It's that simple. If you don't share what you go through, people can learn, can have the opportunity to work towards that. Use of ATVs and incidents involving electrical systems, serious incidents in both cases throughout the past 3 years. What did we do? We went through them, we prioritized those items to be brought into the code so we could perhaps improve code requirements to help the industry to minimize the occurrence of those incidents. And more than that, unfortunately, for the past 10 years or so, we had fatalities involving those topics, which I would like to read them to you so you have in your mind. Worker buried due to unexpected inflow of material. That is an underground mine that unfortunately we had a situation where a large amount of material flowed through the direction of where a worker was, and he was buried, died at the scene. Operation of an ATV, an exploration site. Basically, the individual was operating an ATV. I hope everyone is familiar with what all-terrain vehicle is. And the machine flipped over, and unfortunately, the individual was deceased by the incident. An excavator rolled over into a TSF pond. Same situation. Individual doing their work. Unfortunately, the machine turned over, and they were basically drowning in the cabin of the machine. Terrible situation. High pressure dewatering pipe failure. Nobody would expect that to happen with such a consequence. An individual was caught by a burst of a pipe with a high pressure in it, knocked them to the ground, and that was it. The person was dead after that incident. Very unfortunate. Worker contact with equipment being run over or being hit by an arm out of a machine. Don't want to drag you down. Let's be honest. I don't mean to drag the mood down here at all. I am just sharing because it's needed. I feel like needed. I'm sorry if I'm bringing you down. That's not the intent. Equipment falling into a stove. Same situation in another raw mine. A machine with an individual operating the machine fell into a 50-meter hole. A 50-meter hole and became to that. And then worker falling into a silo. That was one of the most recent ones we had. Unfortunately, coal silo, an individual happened to fall into it and became one more part of the statistics, unfortunately. So the intent is not to drag you down. That's not the idea, but to raise issues that perhaps one of you, if you are part of the industry in the years to come, you can perhaps use this to discuss with your people to bring awareness to the industry. And I hope that is helpful, but I don't mean to bring people down at all. Okay? That's what we have. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
So if I can just close, the reason why this is up here is not to, like George said, bring the mood down, is to show the importance of regulating the industry for us. Fatalities and serious injuries is negative. It breaks people's confidence in a company, and it leads to disinvestment because nobody wants to make money where people are killed. So that is unfortunately part of our industry. And you will also see that putting, just go back one, putting the code review in place, all the code review did is look at the serious fatalities and putting laws in place. And it was the number one responsibility for any person is to get back home to your family, to your loved ones. And the number one responsibility for regulatory oversight is that we must ensure that systems are in place to make sure that people can do that, because that's our job. It's not to regulate them or to fine them, it's to make sure that they can work safely and return every night. And that's good for business, that's good for investment, that's good for everything for expansion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a quick question. When does BC Securities get involved? How do you report to BC Securities? Short of serious incidents or fatalities, when do you actually cross over with your investigations and results to BC Securities?
It's actually difficult to answer that one because RCMP is involved right from day one. The coroner is involved. The RCMP is involved in terms of priority. The coroner always has number one priority in our province. So once a coroner releases a scene, then the RCMP take over, and the RCMP is looking for calls normally, and then they are done. That is when we get involved. Irrespective of those investigations, we do our investigations ourselves. When we do an investigation, we don't want to see whether someone is at fault. But when things are blatantly showing that there is at fault, that is when we cross into that. We call it crossing the Rubicon. It's two different investigations. We do an administrative investigation until we see, well, we can't continue. Then we stop it, and MIU, the Mines Investigative Unit, who consists of ex-RCMP, legal people and so on, they take it over and then they carry on with it. I hope that answers your question.
I wasn't talking about the series and the fatalities, regular incidents like equipment falls down, injuries, consistent injuries, like poor piping, poor air ventilation. How do you handle that with the BC Securities Commission?
I will need to think of a proper answer for you that and connect with you afterwards.
Thank you.
I have a question. In regards to safety, is Is it quite consistent, given obviously a lot of people around this table, whether you're investors, whether you're a country looking for potential investors, is it quite consistent country to country or location to location? And I don't know if this is a question for the investment side, but could the inconsistency cause challenges with that potential investment piece? Does that make sense?
It makes sense. It is possible. Consistency is of course very important to ensure that everybody is regulated the same. There are different ways of doing it. I can speak to you afterwards. So I don't want to. I see we're already over our time, but in BC, every single mines inspector that you see is a experienced miner. We do not employ anybody that does not have at least 8 to 10 years of mining experience. So that background experience is already there. Our training system that we put in place also provides consistency. And then we've got calibration sessions on a regular basis inside our teams where specific things are taken and say, this is how we handle it. So it's a continuous training and improvement that we talked about, as well as the audits.
I have a question, please. I wonder, in your industry, what tools, what instruments do you have for enforcement? Because your role is to inspect and to ensure that the mine follows certain regulatory rules. What can you do to restrict or ban those rules?
So we start off first of all with a warning. A warning is just a written warning to a person. Then an advisory. That's also, those two are really just a little tap on the fingers and say. Then we go over to more complicated. We start writing orders. So order is a legal order written to a person. If they do not comply, then it can be enforced. If an order is not followed, we got what we call a Section 35 order, which actually tells you that if you do not rectify this non-compliance within the next X amount of days, we're going to escalate. The next escalation on top of that is administrative monetary penalties. So we say to a person, you did not comply to this, so we're going to give you a fine. And that fine can be anything between $15,000 to $500,000. Okay, so it's a significant deterrent. After that is we can go to a court and we can ask the court to enforce it. And then there's also the chief inspector has a right to cancel your permit. The chief inspector has a right to take your security deposit and rectify the non-compliance on the site itself. So, but the last resort that we always do is cancelling the permit. We can also shut down any part of operation that is hazardous, or we can shut down the whole of the mine by issuing a stop work order. So those are the ones that are available.
It's important that you have this power.
Yes.
Yeah. So if there are no more questions, I would like to thank Herman and Georgie for your important and informative presentation. And if anyone wants to continue, maybe after our session, they can do that.
Thank you.
So, needless to say that safety is paramount in the mining industry. And unfortunately, accidents do happen, and the tailings ponds can break. People can trash underground, or the stage gas can explode. And those are preventable occasions. But if something terrible happens, the experts may step in and remediate the damage. And I would like to invite an expert in occupational health and safety, Mr. Jeremy Bedouin, who is the CEO of National Emergency Safety Services and has vast experience working internationally. And we would like to do his experience sharing.
Thank you very much.
I will be very quick, and thank you very much for the patience and stay awake this morning. It was very interesting. I was awake. Thank you, Tatiana, for making this event. Thank you, Miller, to host us here. If you want to meet all the regulatory body across Canada that Mr. Herman and Mr. His co-worker required of each one of you, you need to know what you're doing. And each one of the different regulatory body across the world are very different, but the human body stay the same. The environment is a bit different. So if you want to keep it simple, invest in new people. And if you want to be outcome-based, put some real change. We have helped companies in Ghana and Africa, and we were able to lower the risk for the investor, increase the investor relation, and raise money for Asante Gold, to give you an example. So the investor make money, but the workforce have 23% less incident. So that's more people going home. That's more family working with their father, their mother. So if you choose to do that more, you will make more money, more output. So less risk for all of us. I have a quick movie here for Asante Gold, and we are doing similar stuff as well in Ivory Coast. And we are asked as well by Altian Mass in Kazakhstan, thank you very much, to implement something similar in 2027, 2026. So thank you very much for having me. And if you want to know more, come and see me after you make start.
In early 2025, National Emergency Safety Service brought its Courageous Safety Leadership Program to West Africa. Hosted by Asante Gold Corporation at their Bibiani and Kirano mine sites. Our team experienced firsthand the unique safety challenges and strengths within Asante's operations. Ground-level immersion is key to cultural connection. Through workshops, dialogue, and peer teaching, the CSL program challenged assumptions. It empowered leaders to approach their roles with accountability, empathy, and action. Real change happens when leadership becomes personal. These leaders stepped into the spotlight to become catalysts for safer workplaces. The Courageous Safety Leadership Program isn't just training, it's a movement. Trusted across borders and proven in the field. Bring courageous safety leadership to your team. Visit nationalemergency.ca to learn more.
So now Asante Gold have 40 train-the-trainer program. They train their own program. We manage it. That was done in 6 months. 7,000 workers were trained in 6 months. 23% less incidents. How much dollar do you save for each one of your incidents? And not only that, you make all the due diligence, you less time invested dealing with the regulatory body, with the lawyer, with the insurance. So everybody wins. Have a good day. Thank you.
So this brings us to the end of panel number 2 and close to the end of our day. Thank you very much for your attention. I will pass the word to Tatiana.
Okay, thank you everyone for staying through the event. It's very nice to see that it's quite a full room. Sometimes we have a situation when it's remaining after the intermission. So it looks like what we brought today to the stage is of interest for you. As the association, and especially I feel personally tender about the natural resources because I'm a metallurgical engineer by my basic specialty. I think that, you know, everything which we have around us, everything basically, our cars, our gadgets, everything here, right? It's made out of metals and minerals. And between these beautiful things and the piece of land where these minerals are sitting, there are quite a lot of things to be done. It's exploration, it's mining, it's processing, And we as association would like to be the grounds for the venue for the mining community to get together and exchange experience of what we can do together to actually make the process less harmful for environment and more beneficially for the humans. So thank you again for attending this event. I would like to say a special thank you also for the people who are on the background through the event, and but they are helping us tremendously. I think we would not be able to put it all together without our assistance. And as our organization, our team is very international. We have Naran Chingalak from Mongolia. We have Taranjit, who disappeared because he needed to go to his other job, born in India. And we have over there in the foyer our other assistant, Katerina, who is born in Ukraine. So it's very kind of reflective to what we do across the world. So right now, I think our program is finished, and between now and a light lunch, which is sitting just outside, there is a possibility to ask questions. And I think then, if you would like to conclude the conference, I will give it to you.
Thanks very much, folks. I hope that you found this session to be interesting and informative, and you've made some good connections, and you found this session to be useful to you. I hope that you enjoy light lunch and have an opportunity to network. And if you're interested in more of this type of programming, please contact Tatiana or myself to participate, join, register with the Canada-Eurasia Business Alliance. And we look forward to seeing you at future events. Thanks and have a great day.